Counselor, there's a raccoon stuck in the vending machine.
That's so annoying. I wanted a snack.
Welcome to Trail Mix.
Our mini episodes from Camp Counselors podcast.
Each week, the stories come from you, our Camp Shady Birch campers.
We want to hear your juicy gossip,
Top secret confessions,
embarrassing and scary stories.
and sprinkle in our sage counselor advice.
Trail Mix is for the campers.
And God, do we love ya. Hey, happy campers! Welcome back to Trail Mix.
I hope you're hungry because we have a great, nutritious episode for you. This is our mini episode where we read listener submitted stories brought to you by listeners just like you.
Thank you. We're just an ordinary girl. Sometimes I'm crazy. I get bored. I get scared. I feel ignored. We didn't know any of the words.
I know. I literally know all the words. Do not quiz me on Hannah Montana.
The thing is with me, when it comes to lyrics, they're almost suggestions because the power of music really comes from what it makes you feel. So why am I concerned about the lyrics? If I think it's a different word, wouldn't the artist be happy to know that I'm interpreting their art in a way that makes me happy?
One thing I have never thought about you was that you cared about the lyrics.
Because I'm a gaslighter.
Yeah, you'll be so convinced that it's this word and it's so clearly not.
Because it is to me. It was real to me.
It was real to me.
There's nothing, campers. If you're like me and you're a confident
Single mother.
Be Miss Singer. Just be not Ramona.
Oh.
Just sing with your chest, sing with your heart. And honestly, isn't it more courageous to sing incorrectly than to not sing at all?
Yeah, with that confidence, absolutely. That's courage.
Because I think if people are going to knock me down for getting the lyrics wrong, because the one thing about me, I'm not afraid of failure. I'll panic up until the moment, but I always do it.
Because you'll always have the safety net of the chorus.
Do you know any songs off the top of your head that you believe I don't know the lyrics to?
It's Gonna Be Me by NSYNC. What's the opening line?
Early morning, she wakes up
With a knock, knock, knock. Oh,
I would have
God.
said something else at that part.
What would you have said?
No, actually, I just learned one of my favorite Britney Spears songs I've been singing incorrectly my whole life.
Which one?
And it's literally my favorite. What's my favorite Britney Spears song?
Piece of Me.
Thank you. Oh my God, I get it right. Piece of Me. Give me the chorus.
I'm Mrs. Oh my God, that Britney shameless.
You want a piece of me? I'm Mrs. Extra Slackalicious then. I'm Mrs. She's too big now, she's too thin.
Wait.
No, there's a part of it when she's like hopping on the plane to the Philippines.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that the part you just said was wrong.
Well, that was also wrong, but I know that's wrong. What's the Philippines part? It's in the Philippines.
My derriere in the magazine.
But it's before that. I'm looking it up.
before the
Campers, just give
derriere
me a
in the
second.
okay.
I'm looking this up. Because I've been wrong my whole life. And I finally checked myself quite recently.
I feel like this is one of those Britney songs that at some parts I'm like, now, matter of fact, what does she say there?
First of all, let me gaslight her for a minute. Enunciate, bitch.
She's healing, babe. You can't say that.
I miss America dream since I was 70. No matter if I step on the scene or sneak away to the Philippines, they still gonna put pictures of my derriere in the magazine.
So what did you think that it was?
Let me show it. Don't matter if I step on the scene or circle away to the Philippines.
You were just kind of like making noise.
Because I don't need to learn it. Why do I need to learn anything?
Well,
I've learned enough in my life.
AZ Lyrics has really been a destination for the masses.
Well, Spotify finally added that feature where most songs now have the lyrics on it. And for a while, it was just Apple Music. And that was the only thing they had on us Spotify users. And now that we have that, you literally cannot sell me Apple Music.
You know who's gonna play carpool karaoke with Apple Music?
Who?
Kira.
Oh, she will literally total her car because she's listening to a song.
And she'll learn all the lyrics though. Next time that song comes on, the song will be out for like 2 days and she will know it by heart.
I just got off the horn with her. She's like, got some cute things. I said, show me.
They weren't cute. Period. Wait, hold on. Before we sidebar, I just found out that Spotify has comments.
Oh, yes, on our podcast. So if you're listening on our podcast on Spotify, you can comment now.
Why did I not know this?
Once again, Apple, you're falling quite far from the tree.
Well, and we don't have Apple Music, so who knows? Maybe they've had that.
Apple Podcasts.
Oh,
I've
my God,
never
you're so
commented
right.
on there. You can't. I listen to my podcast on Apple.
How queer.
Anyways, that's enough about nothing. Should we get into today's episode? This isn't about us.
I suppose we really should, shan't we?
Well, I have a camper who is seeking advice on how to build a stronger community for his students.
I have a scary story about a mysterious summer camp bunkmate who owned the talent show with a grand finale vanishing act.
Oh.
If you listen to this whole episode and you go back and you listen to me say that one more time, you're going to say, damn, God damn, Jonathan, that was a crafty way to put it.
You're such a wordsmith.
I do what I can.
And then I have a camper scary story caught on a baby monitor.
How fabulous.
Let's get into it.
Are we qualified to be giving advice? No. Are we going to do it anyway? Absolutely.
Welcome back to Dear Counselors Campers. You have a query. You got two queers right here who are down to here, and we'll give you our feedback. As every part in the show, if you want to be a part of it, it's open. It's open enrollment all year long here at camp, not only to be a camper, but to also be part of Trail Mix. Send your stories into campcounselorspodcast.com or campcounselorspod@gmail.com.
I hate when it's open enrollment season. Everyone's like, it's open enrollment. I'm like, okay, for what?
Insurance, and it's stressful and nobody wants to handle it. It's also like I'm the same bitch. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, but sometimes when you're shopping for insurance, we do have an insurance company that we would love to suggest, but you'll have to wait to hear about that.
Oh, in the ad.
You know what? Let's just skip. Okay, we don't need to talk
know.
about insurance. We are not the right people.
Dear counselors. Oh, no, that's the title of the segment. Good morning, Sage Counselors.
Good morning.
Greetings from North Jersey. Very close to Paramus, but they wrote Paramoose.
Paramoose.
It's a very confusing name, and we've talked about it on the show. Please allow me a second to blow some smoke up your bottoms by thanking you for both getting me and my girlfriend through a very difficult summer, and please forgive the lengthy thank you before begging for advice. Oh, we're getting a big thank you.
Okay, you're so welcome.
I'm never upset at gratitude towards me.
No.
My old ball and chain broke her ankle at the very beginning of July. As a high school teacher, I was lucky, quotes, enough to have off and nurse her back to health. But it was a long road, laborious. Of the numerous difficulties we faced, one was multiple trips to the foot specialist about an hour away. Oh, that's a hike. When we first began this journey, she was miserable, looking out the window from the back seat like an abandoned puppy, and the defeated attitude of Zachariah at a mechanic.
Oh no, that's a low.
You put me there, and I know exactly the feeling.
It's not good. Low vibes.
A few trips back and forth, she refused to want to listen to anything. She barely wanted to talk. I was missing my lady and at a loss of what to do. It wasn't until I made her plug her phone in and pick out a podcast, any podcast for these long roads, or else I would play my fantasy football podcast for her.
Boo.
That is when she caved and played me my first Camp Counselors podcast. We were roaring together. And for the first time in way too long, I had the love of my life back. Well, I still get homesick every now and then for my fantasy football podcasts. You have gained a loyal new camper in addition to helping an existing one with an insanely difficult time. Thank you.
Oh, that was the whole. I thought that was the advice. I thought we were getting to the advice.
Isn't that just like sweet context?
That was sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, my head is huge right now.
I know, better pick it up. So now I come to you, wise counselors, for your wisdom. I run the GSA, Gay Straight Alliance, as the teacher advisor in my school. Unfortunately, we barely have any members. We only have 4, but they are not very outgoing or social, so it's tough to ask them to try to bring in friends or classmates. I make announcements and put up flyers, but nothing. It is tough to see. After talking to some of my students about why they think this may be, some mentioned that there is still a stigma against straight students joining because they may be unaware of the S in GSA, even though it's always announced. Yeah, everyone knows the GSA is the Gay Straight Alliance. Mm-hmm. And some mentioned that our school is accepting enough that our more confident, proud students don't really feel the need to be in the club for support, which is a good thing. It's a great thing, but also very frustrating for my students who are not quite there yet. I know I'm asking for a miracle, but any advice to get more students in my GSA and show them that they have a safe space in this very unsafe world we live in would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Sincerely, straight and lonely with too many pride flags in cabin 33, formerly infirmary.
Wow.
First of all, thank you for being such a fierce ally.
Dead ass.
Like, you listen to our show, that's amazing. But the fact that you're working boots on the ground with queer youth and trying to build a better community for them, like, seriously, like, time for your flowers. Because if we had more people like you in the world, where would we be? In an amazing place. So thank you for just being brave and being a good human being and supporting queer youth in your high school as a straight person. I'm like, oh my God.
No,
I'm
truly,
obsessed.
truly. And then reaching out to gay people to like ask how to do something. Okay.
Well, were you in the GSA?
I was in the GSA early in high school, but I was also in, what else did I do? I did French Club and GSA.
Well, this is about GSA right now.
No, I know, but I was just trying to rack my brain of
Oui.
like why I didn't. PP.
So I wasn't in the GSA, and this actually, like, I didn't even realize this. So wasn't in the GSA because I was very out in high school, and I didn't think I needed the community in that sense because I was kind of like living my truth in my life, and I thought that was more of a community that needed more of like a bonding. So when you say that there are students in your school who aren't there because they don't need it, and it's great, that is great. But I never knew that in my position, being so comfortable with who I am could have helped another student.
Yeah, that's so true.
So I think there is an idea there for marketing to market to those queer people who feel like maybe they don't need it, but maybe as like a mentorship opportunity to be able to come in and be like, hey, like, I wasn't a part of this because I kind of feel confident on my own, but like, I think it's great to share those insights and resources on how I became more confident in myself, because it must be difficult to have these 4 students who are probably more quiet, because I can picture my own experiences with like who was in the GSA in my high school, and it was kind of like the more loner type, the more quiet type, they're like trying to process it all kind of people. And I wish I could have gone back in time and like been more of like a useful person in that space. So let's start answering the question. What are some ideas to drum up enrollment for the GSA at your high school?
So I actually was in the GSA in college. My first year of college, there was like a GSA group, and they did, and most of my friends who were in it, I think I was like the only gay person, like all my straight friends came and they like loved it. And we did a photo shoot it was like during the height of the No Hate campaign. And then they used that on social media to like get some traction or be like, hey, these are some cool people, here's some stories, like come on out. And it actually worked. We had like a couple people join after that.
Yes, this is the idea here. It's activations. It's treating this like an influencer event, because that's what people want. People want to have the photo proof that they did something fun. So I'm not sure what the budget is. I'm hoping that the school gave the club some sort of budget, but you could make an activity with the 4 kids that are there right now. Okay, we're going to do an event in a month where we have people after school come, and it's a mixer, and it's kind of like, okay, get to know everybody, and you set up a cool photo station and get people to like, and there's like maybe like crafts are kind of like not lame. You could do a friendship bracelet. Like those are so trendy right now. So a friendship bracelet station, some snacks, and like a sick photo background. I'm thinking like disco, something like a selfie section, but like not corny, but in a fun way that people can like make something for their Instagram and then be like, oh, like, yeah, you guys should come back. We do a lot of stuff like this. And then I was thinking too, every couple weeks, depending on like what you guys are covering or talking about, maybe you make this as a space as like more of a hangout space, and you advertise it as more of like a chill, safe space for everybody to come.
Yeah.
And you play queer focused media. I think I've learned the most about myself watching queer movies and seeing other queer stories. Sometimes watching stuff like that can break barriers in really sensitive topics. So, and I think there's a lot of queer media right now that is targeted more to high school students. Like I know we have Love, Simon. That could be a great, like, you could do it like a Love, Simon. You could pull back the classics of Glee. Oh my God, the kids go insane for Glee. And if it was fine for network TV, it should be fine for your high school. Obviously get approvals. They had that Gay Prince movie that was on TV. It was like Red, White, and Royal.
Oh yeah, Red, White, and Royal Blue. Or
yeah, like there was that one. So like maybe you're hosting like after school like movie or TV sessions so people can come, not have the pressure to kind of like unpack their trauma, but more about like camaraderie in the sense of like entertainment. like a kind of a queer focused, like, and then we can you could do a queer music day where it's like Chapel Roan listening party.
Oh, I love
you know
that.
what I mean? And like just kind of celebrate queer excellence. And by that, you're going to attract some allies, and you're also going to attract those queer people who like love the fun of it all. And then I think that can naturally start building those connections for you, these students, and those students to kind of cross-pollinate with some of the more out and proud people. I think sometimes clubs can feel like work. So if you make this
especially
club,
if it's after school, if it's like after hours, you're like cutting into social time. So I get it. That's hard. Especially like, gotta keep in mind that like schools don't have funding like this.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's a way that you can definitely get creative and crafty. And if something is going well, I'm assuming, because I feel like this is probably still the case, but morning announcements, are they not still on TVs?
yeah.
So like maybe, I don't know, take some extra pictures or video if they have permission, or that's something that you're allowed to do or everybody is comfortable doing, and then throw it in one of the like monthly morning announcements or something.
Yeah, I think get the kids involved. Help them bring some supplies in from, maybe talk to the art department. Any paper over here? Any glitter? Get some fun posters that they're making, that it's not just you. You know what I mean? And then put some fun catchphrases. Put some like TikTok kind of appropriate, but kind of like fun isms. Like, I don't know. There's ideas here. I think just making it less structured and more around community and fun. And then the real conversations will come out when they need to. Mm-hmm. But let's focus on like just really creating a safe space of entertainment focused around queer culture. Let us know. I would love an update. Send us some like fun pictures of whatever you guys end up doing, but you're on the right path and your heart's in the right place. And seriously, thank you for just being you and being a part of this podcast, but just more importantly, being the person you are in your community, because it is so important. And those kids will remember you the rest of their lives. Mm-hmm. You always remember who supported you and respected you. So thank you for being you. And we love you.
Scary stories around the campfire. Welcome back to Scary Stories Around the Campfire. Ooh, I hope you're comfortable, bitches, because this is kind of a long one. Okay, so scary stories. If you have an embarrassing story or an actually scary story, you can send it in on our website on the World Wide Web, www.campcounselorspodcast.com, or you can send us an email, campcounselorspod@gmail.com. Okay. My favorite counselors. I wrote to you last year sharing my traumatizing experience of trying to get a Diet Coke at McDonald's while suffering from a hangover. Oh, I remember that story. I remember it well.
Oh, yes, I remember it too. Yes. Oh, so she's double dipping.
Yes, we're double dipping. Today, I present you with an equally bizarre and chilling tale. I'm going to pause right here and say this is way more chilling and way more bizarre, which coincidentally takes place at a camp. So, when I was in elementary school, probably 4th or 5th grade, a new girl was enrolled in the middle of the school year. She was a strange potato. I don't remember her name, which just adds to the lore. So, for the sake of this story, let's call her Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle. She wasn't a student there for long. As quickly as she appeared, out of thin air, she swiftly vanished.
So Moaning Myrtle.
I know she didn't graduate with the 5th grade class of 1999 because there was absolutely no photographic evidence of her in our yearbook. But I never forget a face, which is a blessing and a curse, as you will see. So a few years go by, and at this point, I'm around 12 years old. I had always wanted to go to sleepaway camp because I was obsessed with Bug Juice on Disney Channel when I was younger. I loved that show.
I never saw it, but it seemed really fun. You showed it to me, like a trailer for it, and that's like literally this camp.
It was like
we're so Bug Juice, but we're wine juice.
It was Disney Channel reality TV at a camp. Like it kind of was crazy.
Reality TV was the boom.
Or this was 90s.
Yeah, that was the boom.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. I am a city kid, born and raised in New York. The idea of spending an entire summer in a cabin in the woods seemed so exotic, so magical, so whimsy. I pleaded with my mom to send me to camp that I so fondly watched on TV. She even went as far as to call them. I don't know where that one was, but I think it was somewhere in New England. That's crazy. Like, I see a camp on TV, Mom, send me. Don't know how she found them, probably the Yellow Pages. At which point, she had to sit me down and explain that the kids who went to that camp were very, 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 very rich. So rich that they used the word summer as a verb and not a noun.
That is such a funny take. That's how you know you're rich, when you use summer as a verb, not a noun. Clever. Sorry, that really hit me.
Great writing. We said it before in the McDonald's Diet Coke story. My dreams were shattered. Luckily, my mom did some research and found a way to get her work union to send me to a camp for free.
Wow.
Okay, fuck it up.
Resources.
Was it a 5-star camp from TV? No. Did I care? No. I wanted to sleep in a bunk bed. I wanted to make s'mores, and I wanted every boy in cabin 8 to fight over me. Where's the bus? Let's go. So I arrive at camp and I meet my bunkmates. It's been a few years, but like I said, I never forget a face. Guess who's there? The mysterious Myrtle is one of my bunkmates. Myrtle has grown stranger and even more introverted than the last time I saw her. Myrtle spends most of her time writing in her journal, ignoring the other bunkmates, and generally being a hermit that didn't want to participate in anything. I'm just setting a scene. We all know a Myrtle. As I said at the time, I'm 12 and from New York, so naturally, I just got my eyebrow illegally pierced. For this reason, I am not allowed to go into the lake when my cabin had swim time. Yeah, that's like, you can't do that. The brain-eating amoeba will get in that piercing. I was totally fine with that because like Myrtle at heart, I'm an indoor kid. It's like you just wanted to watch camp on TV, not actually go. So I would sit under a tree while everyone else was doing water sports. I shit you not, Myrtle was all about it. She flocked to the lake like a moth to a flame every day. No matter how miserable she had been before or after, she would go into the lake. She was fully invested. What I'm describing to you is not some hidden love for being in the water that she had or some undiscovered athletic powers. What it was an obsession. The counselor in charge of the lake activities, that was the two things I'm thinking. I'm like, one, she's a mermaid. Two, who is the camp counselor who's in charge of swim time? And that would be Jeremy. Looking back, I have no clue how old he was, because when you're 12, somebody can be 18 or 36. You really don't know the difference. Let's say he was 22 to be safe. He was a very tall, skinny guy from South Africa. Quiet, subdued Myrtle would for some reason be the first one in her swim trunks doing a cannonball in the lake. I would just be chilling under a tree and I'd observe. I'd watch her, watching Jeremy, lurking, glaring, obsessing, creeping, all the things. Day after day, I would notice this behavior because the second she would dry off and we moved on to the next activity, she would go right back in her shell. It was giving split personality. Toward the end of the summer, there was a big talent show. Everyone would participate. Shockingly, even Myrtle. The night finally arrived. Act after act performed. There were hoots and hollers from the crowd. Everyone was roaring. The next act was announced. Myrtle from cabin 6. She steps up. I'm picturing it. It's like dead silent. Someone's coughing in the back, like, and you just hear her placing down the boombox, closing it, and pressing play. She gives a CD to whatever counselor was designated DJ for the event. She walks onto stage wearing a floor-length robe. The lights are dim. The music starts. It's Willa Ford, I Want to Be Bad. The spotlight hits Myrtle. The robe comes off. The girl who had spoken maybe 7 words to anyone all summer now stood before us in a sparkly pink tube top with the tiniest leather mini skirt. She begins to gyrate. She begins bumping. She begins rolling her body like a snake. She's shouting, I want to be bad. You make it feel so good at the top of her lungs. Oh. Everyone's mouth is agape. The song ends. Myrtle is sweating, staring at Jeremy. A slow clap commences around the campfire as the audience processes what just happened. Myrtle comes out of whatever trance she was under for 3.5 minutes. She snatches up her robe and exits stage left. It was unexpected. It was chaotic. It was unimaginable. When I return to the cabin, Myrtle is already there. She's back to her normal behavior, squirreled in the corner and journaling the events of the night. I remember telling her she did a good job. She simply nodded in my direction and refocused her to her ledger. That night, while I'm asleep in the cabin, I heard some people rustling around while I lay somewhere between consciousness and a dream. I recall a bit of soft sobbing and pleading. Did I get too much sun on that day, or was something strange afoot? When I woke up, one of the beds was already empty and fully made up, as if no one had slept in it the night before. Yes, it was Myrtle's bed. Our bunk counselor tells us to wash up and then come back to the cabin to have a meeting. Okay, where the fuck is Myrtle? So here's the tea. During the night, she absolutely lost her shit and had a manic episode. The counselor tried to console her as she told him over and over again that Jeremy, the 22-year-old swim instructor, was supposed to fall in love with her after her talent show performance. Yet, he didn't even tell her he appreciated the dance she had prepared specifically for him. They were supposed to be together. They were supposed to start a life this summer. At some point, her journals were apprehended. They were filled with pages and pages about Jeremy and only Jeremy. There were drawings, love letters, delusional fantasies. It's like, girl, I get it though. I get it. Many of which involved her clearly believing that he had felt some way about her. She called her parents. They had to drive from upstate Brooklyn in the wee hours of the night. She left the premises with them immediately. She was gone by the time the sun arose, and I never saw her again. But this is the part that chills me to the bone. I've not kept in touch with even one person that attended this camp, so I alone have to live with the talent show / fatal attraction memory, and I've accepted that. But what's worse is when I came home, I reached out to possibly every single person that went to elementary school with us and told them the tale of the mysterious Myrtle who was our classmate for a very short period of time between 1998 and 1999. And wait for it, not one individual remembers who she is. Not even fucking one. I know for a fact Myrtle and I knew each other because she confirmed it in the first day of camp. Like I said, I can't forget a face. There's absolutely no photo evidence she ever existed. This has been haunting me for decades. During the pandemic, the thought of Myrtle resurfaced, and I reached out again from everyone from grade school to see if my mystery could finally be solved. I had a bunch of people in their 30s desperately seeking a ghost child. Nobody remembers her actual name. Apparently, she had went by several aliases before the age of 13. How do you explain that? We couldn't find a single crumb of information. No digital footprint. Like an absolute psychopath, I even draw her from memory, and the image was circulated amongst our class of 99 alumni, like a missing persons poster. The visual surprisingly jogged a memory for a bunch of people, but ultimately led me nowhere. I'm going to have to contact Unsolved Mysteries for this one. I can't describe the torture that I've been through not being able to validate the tale I told you today with another person. I can't explain the absolute despair to have no closure on who this girl was and whatever became of her. If I can never find the truth, then my only other option is to have my memory erased like they do the people in Men in Black. I can't live like this. It's too much lore for one person to bear. I need answers. I need to put the Myrtle mystery to rest. Signed, Nancy Drew in Cabin 2. Wow.
No digital footprint Myrtle.
I wonder what happened to her. That is so spooky and
Oh my
scary.
God. She would love, what's that fan fiction website that people go on?
Wattpad.
Yeah, she would love Wattpad.
I think it's
Wattpad.
Wattpad. Wattpad.
She would love
Oh my
that.
God, she would. Maybe she's an author now. Who knows?
Oh my God, her
Probably
sweet,
under
sweet
pen
love for
name.
Jeremy. Kids
I
are tough.
know.
Kids are crazy.
Yeah.
Kids are full of a lot of emotions. I hope she's okay. I wonder if she's listening to this podcast.
Myrtle, reach out, please.
We're trying to connect the dots. And honestly, that performance sounds lay.
That really did. But that is so crazy. I remember there were kids in my school when I was a little girl, that would come in and then leave. There were 2 kids particularly that didn't stay for a whole year.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
That definitely does. And if you miss the picture day and it's 1996, there's no photographic proof.
The one kid, he was blonde. He had a mullet and his ear was pierced in 2nd grade. I was like, what the fuck? And then he disappeared just like that.
Oh my God. When I was in 3rd grade, there was a kid in my class. His name was Travis and his ear was pierced. And he used to do this weird, really slow shuffle to the bathroom. And he always had a teacher's aide because he was bad. And he would like walk wicked slow and like drag his feet. And it was kind of like a bit he would do. And I always be like, why? And then later in life, I found out that he came from a really broken family.
Oh no, that's sad.
It is sad, but I'm just saying, sometimes we don't get the full picture.
The mystery of Myrtle.
Well, I also have a scary story.
All right, well, bring it to me.
Mine's kind of spooky too.
Okay.
Mine's like spooks.
This is spooky, creepy. Ooh.
Hey, besties. Zach, you may not know this, but we've been besties since at least 2020. My cousin and I still quote, not on the paper towel, on the regular. I have to be so real. I don't know what this quote is.
Not on the paper towel.
And I don't want to break anyone's heart because I remember everything I've ever made. But at the same time, when TikTok was being banned and I offloaded all my videos.
Oh, wait, babe. I'm
What?
sorry. The quote is not on the paper towel.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, in my head, I'm racking my brain for not on the paper towel on the regular.
No.
She's saying she quotes it on the regular. Got it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
either
by
way, did
myself.
that jog your memory?
No, but I thought I was having a breakthrough.
I was trying to say I've made genuinely over 1,500 videos. So I want to know what this is. So please reach back out and remind me of what the context is because not on the paper towel.
Not on the paper towel.
I know that's what it sounds like.
Probably sounds like that. Even better, extra bonus points if you can send us a link.
I wonder if it's a cooking video.
It could have been.
Anyways, I was delighted as ever when you found Jonathan, and now I had two besties. Love you both.
Love you.
Anywho, let's get to the good stuff. To set the scene, I have a 5-month-old baby and my fiance travels for work, so I'm often home alone with the baby overnight. One night, after getting my baby to sleep in his crib, I tucked myself into bed and rubbed my little feet together like a cricket. The sign of a successful day as a hashtag strong mama. You love a cricket. You do that all the time.
I do.
You do. I had the monitor on my bedside table and drifted off into a sweet slumber of exhaustion. Hours later, around 2 a.m., I heard the little squeak of my sweet baby. The sure sign a fuss was coming. The sound always awakens me instantly, and in the complete darkness, I begin to stir. Then, over the monitor, I hear the sweet singing of an elderly woman's voice singing, "Silent Night."
No, ma'am.
Then, nothing. My heart begins to race. I waited for more crying, but there was none. I tried to rationalize it to myself that it was just a dream, but the more I laid there in the darkness, the more quickly my heart began to pound, and I was so sure of what I heard. I felt panic knowing I was home alone and had to step up as a strong mama and look at the paranormal activity on the baby monitor.
Oh my God, that's so scary. She's literally alone.
I braced myself for the terrifying night vision view on the screen. I held my breath. As I panned around the room on the camera, I saw nothing. I called my fiance, who was working a night shift, and he told me to go get the baby. But alas, this mama is not as strong. She will not wake a sleeping baby at 2 a.m., especially not when a sweet ghost sings him back to sleep. I haven't been able to go into his room at night without thinking about this since I should probably sage. Signed, the camper singing Silent Night in cabin 13.
My initial thought was, I rebuke. I do not accept your power and energy into this home.
Big rebuke energy on this one.
However,
What?
it seemed caring. Like, were there any other, I'm curious if there's any other paranormal situations that were happening, paranormal occurrences, if you will.
Like, was it a family member?
It could have been a family member, either that or just like, I don't know, the ghost of a babysitter's past, you know?
I don't want any ghosts talking to my baby.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
That's crazy.
It is because, that seemed caring, don't you think?
It seemed pernicious.
It didn't, I don't think it seems pernicious. She's pernicious. I
Read
think
the
that
lyrics
it
to
seems...
Silent Night.
It's kind of as like Jesus as it gets. It's literally about baby Jesus.
Well, also, was this Christmas?
Was this Christmas or was this July? It could have been Christmas in July.
Or Christmas.
Maybe the ghost died on Christmas. Maybe the ghost is Jesus.
Well, the song is saying like "shut the fuck up" to the baby, which I kind of love.
Or it's kind of giving it's
Silent Night.
giving Buffalo Wild Wings order tender and mild.
Maybe the ghost was having a nice slumber himself or herself.
And it's just like, please don't.
Shut the hell up. I cannot sleep. Baby pissing me off. Go to sleep. Oh my God, I would be the best ghost.
When one day, maybe it will.
I think it's funny that you didn't instantly go into the room.
I know. I feel like I don't
You
know.
had a lot of pauses.
What do you me?
The camper.
Oh, I know, but that's
She was like, do I have to?
the baby's fine.
I don't like being home alone. And what's the
don't
baby
either.
going to do to help you? Nothing.
I already talked about that. I don't either.
I know. Well, I'm happy everything's okay. This also could require an update. All 3 of our stories this week require updates, truly across the board.
No, really, they're all mysteries. Everything's open-ended.
Like, how's the GSA doing? Did we find Myrtle? Is the baby okay? We really need to, because honestly, nothing about this show feels wrapped up to me. Open-ended show.
We're undone.
Well, thank you so much to everybody who wrote in for these stories. They were fantastic. A great episode. I feel very entertained. I feel nourished.
Me too.
By this trail mix.
Oh, I'm so bloated.
Well, we'll be back Wednesday, and we'll be back next week. And with that being said, lights out, campers.